Maybe you're restoring a boat, or you're thinking about buying a sailboat to go cruising, and safety should be at the top of your priorities. But sometimes luxury plays a big part in safety too. Because if you're so tired and so stressed all the time because conditions aboard are not the best, you end up making bad decisions. Just to be clear, you don't absolutely need these things, but they are sure nice to have. So let's discuss what actually is luxury aboard a sailboat. Spoiler alert, it's not what the boat manufacturers want you to think it is. It's something completely different. This is Starry Night, a courageous, plucky sailboat who has only one dream: to sail around the world and have lots of adventures. No, not like that. It's around the world, not through it. But not everything was going to plan. Starry Night was abandoned on the heart for 12 full years. But one day, he found us. My name is Paulo, and this is Katerina, and these are our two very overactive kids. After a crazy amount of work, Starry Night is once again ready to sail the oceans. So sit back, relax, and join us in this adventure, and we will all find out together where Starry Night will end up next. Luxury aboard a sailboat. It's not what most people think it is. If you ask long-term sailors, they will tell you these things are the actual luxury aboard. They make your life so much better. Let's start with number one, a big battery. A big battery is definitely a luxury item. We have 16 kilowatts aboard Starry Night, and I wish we had double that. And 16 kilowatts is already a huge amount of energy. But the bigger the battery, the more efficient you can make it work for you. Because the sun doesn't shine every day, and sometimes it goes away for weeks on end. In our case, with our 16 kilowatts, we can go for about 7 to 10 days without having to generate any power. This is with Starlink always on and using all the lights and the computers and the TV and the fridge. Well, all of that. We can do that for about 10 days, and then we have to recharge the battery. But if we had a smaller battery, we would have to charge much more frequently. Having a big battery also allows you to use your engine power more efficiently, because let's say you have to make an 8-hour journey and there's no wind and you're gonna motor. If you have a small battery, it will be full by the end of the first 2 hours, and then your alternator is doing nothing. But if you have a big one, you can use the full 8 hours charging your battery, and you will have collected a huge amount of energy. Having a big battery also allows you to have stuff aboard that you would not be able to have, like induction cookers, big inverters that can that make your life so much easier. Luxury item number 2, big inverters. This is one of the things we actually have. We have 2 big inverters aboard, and this means that when we're cooking, you can have 2 induction stoves going at the same time, plus the microwave, and it's not an issue at all. So it makes your life more comfortable. Having big inverters also allows you to use things like a dishwasher, a washer dryer, or a pressure washer. Well, I'm washing a lot of things. Well, all of these machines, or even a compressor, without having to turn on a generator, because you can convert the power in your batteries directly into mains voltage just using the inverters. And this makes life much it's more pleasant not to having the noise of a generator going on. Luxury number 3, a water maker. Yeah, you can of course go cruising without a water maker. Most people do. Most people don't have them. But today we're talking about luxury. And there's nothing more luxurious aboard than having infinite drinkable water. That is a game changer. If you can get your hands on a water maker that is DC powered, like for instance a Spectra or a Schenker or something like that, you can even make water using the surplus power you get from your solar panels. So yeah, it's a life changer, I think, because we don't have one. We have struggled to get water just like the rest of the people. But yeah, this is in our plans. When we can afford it, we are definitely going to install a water maker. Hey, Spectra, if you're listening and you're feeling generous, call us. Luxury item number 4, a large hot water boiler with multiple heating systems. What I mean by this is one of the things that we do have. We have an 80-liter hot water boiler that we can heat up in 3 different ways. We can use electricity through the mains power or the inverters. We can use the surplus of the solar panels to heat the water. We can use the engine when we're motoring to heat up the water, or we can use a diesel hydronic system to heat up the water. This means that every day the 4 of us have a hot shower. This makes a huge difference. Having the possibility or the ability to have a hot shower every day, it's a huge luxury. Number 5, a dishwasher and a full washer dryer. These are luxuries that make your life again so much better. We only have a dishwasher, we don't have a washer dryer, so we do have to carry the clothes off the shore, haul the thing out and go in the dinghy and then find a place and pay for the place. It's a drag, it's a huge drag. So I would love to have a full washer dryer aboard, and we will do at some point. But yeah, that is always a real, at a home, a land house, nobody even thinks of it. But on a sailboat, that's a huge luxury. The next one is a nice, high-performance, modern, oversized anchor. And I don't know if you know this, but if you ever go and look at the prices of large anchors for your boat, you're gonna get shocked. They are expensive, but they are worth it. They are a luxury item, but not really, because they are so connected to safety, but they are so expensive that it makes it a luxury item. You can get by with an old CQR. You can. It's just, they don't work so good. So yeah, if you can get a huge anchor, and it's one of those modern anchors that hold their ground like really well and they're reset in their own length, that's a game changer. You will sleep much, much better. We recently got a big anchor. It cost a lot. It still hurts. But it's so good. You just drop that thing and it catches every time. So yeah, big anchor, oversized for your boat. It's a nice thing to have. Speaking of large things, the next luxury item is an oversized, powerful diesel engine. Most sailboats come with a tiny diesel engine, like 25 horse or 35. And yeah, this is enough to get out of the marina and get back in. It is even enough to make a long journey cruising, because, you just have the motor going along and you go as fast as it can. The problem is that if you're doing a long journey, what you'll find is if you have like a 100 horsepower engine, you will be doing, like, in our case, we have a 90 horsepower engine, and at 1500 RPM, we are doing 5 knots. And you can hear the motor, but it's not struggling. It's droning on at a low pitch. And if you have a small motor, to do the same 5 knots, you will have to have it like at 2000 RPM or 2500 RPM, which means the engine is screaming. They can do that for many hours, but the noise, it's much, much louder. Also in our case, if we want to use 2500 RPM, we'll be going about 7 knots, so much faster. So yeah, let me tell you a story. Last year we were going from Cascais, going into our marina, and our marina has locks, so you can only get in until a certain time of the day. Like at 9 p.m. they were going to close the locks. So we had to leave at that time, but the tide was coming out. When we got to the Tagus River, we were both going along, and the current suddenly became huge because it was coming out, and it's an entrance to a river. It was about 5 knots. We just put our engines into 2000, 2200 RPM, and we were doing 2 knots maybe. But our friend, he just couldn't do it. He was maxing out the engine. He had a 35 horsepower, maxing it out. He just couldn't do it. He was going backwards. So it makes a big difference. Having a big engine is a nice luxury to have aboard your sailboat. This one is going to be controversial. The luxury I'm talking about is a non-pounding hull. What I mean by this is some boats, they have a fine water entry and they have a hull that when it hits a wave, it just smashes into the wave and the water passes through the boat. But more and more boats are designed to be fast, and the bottom of the hull is rounded over. And what this means is that when you hit a wave, it jumps over the wave and then it hits the water on the other side of the wave, or it hits the next wave. And this pounding is so strong, it makes your bones shatter. It's incredible. I don't know how people do it. Well, I don't know how people do it like to live in it. You know, for a weekend, it's fine, of course. But to live in it in a hull like that, that's very uncomfortable. So I consider it a luxury to have a hull that can, go against the wind comfortably. Let me tell you a little story. Last year we were in La Linea, Gibraltar, and we found a buddy of ours there. He has a big catamaran, which is, very comfortable at anchor. He was having a luxurious time at anchor. But then it came time to come up. And coming up the coast of Portugal, well, let's just say the coast of Portugal is spicy most of the time. And the summer was over. So this was beginning of autumn, and the winds are already starting to come pretty hard from the north. Going north, it's pretty difficult. Anyway, we made the journey and we got into our marina. We parked the boat, and our buddy wasn't there. It turns out that they were pounding so hard that it took them 2 weeks to make the journey. They stopped in several places to make the journey back. And when they got there, they were so fed up with it that they actually came and talked to us, and they said, we are sick of this. We are thinking of buying something maybe along the lines of a how do you call it, like a deck saloon. They were talking about maybe buying a deck saloon that is more comfortable, because the boat was just way too uncomfortable for this kind of journey. So yeah, having a hull that is comfortable when you absolutely have to go against the wind, because it's not always downwind sailing like you see on YouTube videos. There's a lot of times that it's just, okay, you have 8 hours going against the wind and you have waves. So the more comfortable that your boat is, the better your life will be, and the more rested you will be, and you'll be fine. So yeah, that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching.